This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Yeah, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, what do you got on tap for us today?
Well, it's like I was honestly kind of like, stumped as to what to do for the next podcast, after doing the last podcast. And then I realized, hey, wait a second. It's like, didn't an event I was interested in just wrap up like on Marvel Unlimited? I mean, by that I mean like they published all the issues like to the event. It's like on the app. And so I realized, hey, I can just talk about that. That'll be fine. So here I am to talk about Dark Web. Nominally, it's a X-Men and Spider-Man like crossover event because it involves villains that are specific to both of them. But really, it's kind of just like a big Spider-Man event with the X-Men just getting their own miniseries, to deal with their antagonist like alongside. Now, I got no problems with this because I've been reading and enjoying it's like the current Amazing Spider-Man series. It's been mostly by Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. Wells has written Spider-Man occasionally. It's like over the years, but he also took a more direct approach with the recent Beyond storyline, and he's also got some history with the X-Men as well. After writing the great Hellion series, it's like for 18 issues. So, and his Amazing Spider-Man has been pretty fun. I mean, yeah, he's been putting Peter through some difficult times, like having him try and stop a gang war orchestrated by Tombstone, dealing with his newly reformed boss Norman Osborn. It's like tackling not one but two hobgoblins at once, and as we're about to see, dealing with his former clone ally Ben Riley, who's now the calling himself the villain known as Chasm. But for all the like like even if like it seems like he's been putting Peter through like some bad times, like he never forgets to that Peter's like a funny guy. It's like is always able to like give us a quip like even at the darkest of times. It's like, and that's kind of what's like helped kept his run like more entertaining than the departed Nick Spencer's run. Departed, not that he's dead, that he's like gone over to Substack to do stuff. But I've been enjoying what he and Romita Jr. and the other artists have been doing on this series. So I was looking forward to seeing what they're going to do here, and the fact that hey, they're bringing in the X-Men, for this event. Hey, that sounds even better. Oh, and they're also going to bring in like Al Ewing and Ram V's Venom series as well. Oh, and there's also going to be tie-ins to like a separate Miss Marvel series and separate Gold Goblin, which is Norman Osborn's superhero identity. You can see the air quotes there, and Mary Jane and Black Cat 5-issue miniseries as well. So yeah, this is like an event that has a lot of sprawl to it, but overall it's not bad, even if the general thrust of it does kind of like have me feeling it's kind of like a light version of a classic X-Men event. That would be Inferno, which is a storyline that basically like wrapped up the whole Madeline Pryor storyline. It's like as she like condemned New York to a it's like to an to an infernal hell, bringing the dimension of the demonic dimension of limbo. It's like to the real world in the X-Men, both regular X-Men or uncanny X-Men and X Factor having to team up in order to take her down, and also wrap up the Mr. Sinister like enabled meddling like of the storyline as well. Like it's one of the X-Men's like best known storylines, to the point where the name has been revived several times over the years for separate sort of similar events, and also more recently to cap off Jonathan Hickman's storyline as well. Even though that was more of a we're going to burn it all down rather than we're going to be bringing the demons to New York. But this this storyline basically does involve a Madeline Pryor again, because she was resurrected as part of the X-Men's resurrection protocols. It's like, and it was and as we find out later on, that was because of Jean Grey, but that's getting ahead of ourselves here. Like, Madeline has always had issues with the fact that she was a clone of Jean Grey. It's like, and she's always like had like felt that hey, like, I'm not like the fact that people like don't believe I'm a real person. It's like that I'm just a clone. It's like it's always like infuriated me, and more so, it's like is the fact that she never actually got to experience the like the time that she had with the son she had with Scott Summers, who grew up to be Cable. So she's been letting that like that anger fester for a while, and while she's got kind of a non-aggression pact with the X-Men that she can't directly attack any mutant territories. Well, she can't do that directly. But what if she had someone who could act as a proxy, like in her like to take out her aggression on the X-Men for these perceived slights, and maybe even help her get those memories back. Wink, wink. Enter Chasm. Chasm is the new supervillain name that Ben Reilly has assumed following the events of Beyond. While he survived those events, they left him much worse for the wear, specifically in the sense that whenever Beyond found that, oh hey, he's not acting very Spider-Man like, let's just go and eliminate some memories, it's like in order to make him work better. That basically eventually left Riley with almost nothing to call his own in terms of a proper identity. And while he tried to get Peter, you got to give me your memories in order to make myself whole, Peter's like, don't, dude, that's not cool, man. It left Ben feeling like really really slighted and very angry against our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's like at the end of that event, and this and it's like, and so he eventually finds that the best way to get his revenge is to take Spider-Man's memories, or more specifically his soul, which he eventually, because when he finds out that hey, there's someone else in the Marvel universe who's kind of in the same situation as me, like a cast off clone who's not doesn't have all the memories entitled to them. Well, hey, Maddie, how you doing? What can we do for each other? That's basically the the starting point for Dark Web. It's a team up between two characters who both have like kind of sort of legitimate axes to grind against against their acknowledged antagonists, or our heroes in this case. And basically, it's Dark Web starts off with it's with New York coming under demonic assault again. It's like it's like Inferno was known for how it brought demons were infesting inanimate objects. It's like, and just being really really bad assholes to everyone. Like you got like scooters just yelling at people. You got post office boxes just like screaming how they like take a bite out of people, and like baby carriages, just trying to take a much closer lick of the kids that are riding inside of them. It's it's ridiculous, over the top superhero stuff. And on one hand, it's like it's nice, but at the same time, if you've ever read Inferno like I have, this is gonna come off as kind of like a diet version of that. Mainly in the sense that like even though like the storyline does have its good moments, it's like it really kind of feels like hey, like we've been here, done that, got the T-shirt, and we're kind of playing the hits here. On one hand, Zeb Wells is a solid enough writer that he can get enough good mileage out of that. As I mentioned before, he's good at like playing up Spider-Man's like sense of humor over the course of the event, and it's like that's true here as well. I mean, but the thing is, like the 4 issues of Amazing that mark the event between the Dark Web Dawn and the Dark Web finale issues. It's like they're basically kind of like, they feel like they're kind of like specific events rather than just like parts of a coherent storyline. Like I guess see issue 15. Oh, Spider-Man's fighting Venom again. Only it's a dumbed down Venom who's had his memory stolen and has like been reset to classic 90s era Venom who wants to eat Spider-Man's brains. Issue 2 is a specific fight against Chasm, which it's fine and all. Issue 3 is Peter dealing with life in demonic limbo, where the demons have basically assumed a hellish version of his life. It's like in New York. So basically, you've got Peter just trying to keep the demons from eating all the people who are close to him, who've also been sucked in here as well, including J. Jonah Jameson, who initially is just trying to keep his cool. It's like as the editor of the demonic Daily Bugle, and that's fun. It's like, and especially after you things go on for a little bit, and Jameson actually gets into the groove of like being a demonic head of a newspaper, specifically meaning he basically has to start acting more like himself in order to keep from being eaten by all those demons around him. It's like, and like this, all this stuff is good, and it's got some great art. Well, mostly great art. Well, I'm a valid fan of Adam Kubert, who does the initial Dawn and Dusk issues, like the Alpha and Omega issues for this event. He's has more of a minimalist style here. Basically, it's just like a lot less less jagged flair, and more it's like I'm just gonna trying to keep things as simple as possible, like try to give things like a purity in their approach. And that kind of works in certain scenes, like the opening bit where Ben Riley is hallucinating like a Peter, like an evil Peter, Mary Jane, just like saying, hey, it's like we're gonna take all your stuff, we're gonna take your face, we're gonna take your eyes, we're gonna take everything that you own. It's like, I mean, that's kind of fun. But then you get other bits like when the Spider-Man's like looking over like the Rockefeller Park ice skating rink, and it's just kind of like, oh, this is like really sparse and minimalist, which is not the kind of thing you want to go for a big crossover that involving like lots of demonic stuff. Better, however, is Ed McGuinness, who does the 4 issues of Amazing for the core event, and he's always been like a great big bold cartoonish superhero artist, and he does a lot of good stuff here. I mean, even if not everything hits as well as it could, just because like we're just kind of playing the hits here, like seeing him have Starman face off against Venom, like him fighting against Chasm, or like all the crazy demonic stuff in issues 17 and 18. It's like there's a lot of good like over the top action here, like courtesy McGuinness, and he deserves a lot of credit for pulling that stuff off. And the thing is, like, if you're just interested in reading the spine of this event, because it's basically a Spider-Man story that the X-Men are just hanging around on the sidelines in. It's like then you can just get the Spider-Man Dark Web collection, and you'll get the core of this. I mean, yeah, you'll wonder oh well, why is the Goblin Queen suddenly cool with like how things wrapped up? Well, yeah, you'll have to read like a lot of the extraneous material here, which is why I like Marvel Unlimited. I mean, yeah, it's just like I'm shilling for the app here, but really, it's like I like not having to buy a separate collection just to get every single tie-in, for a storyline like this. I mean, I can just like go on. It's like if I don't want to buy like Spider-Man and like the Black Cat and Mary Jane tie-in issues, I can just read them right here. It's like, and if I want to say that, hey, it's like the Black Cat and Mary Jane tie-in issues it's kind of weird because it's a 5-issue miniseries where only the first 2 issues tie into the main event, then yeah, that's basically what happens here. Because like even though it's like they do show up at the end, it's like this is the Spider-Man, the Black Cat Mary Jane stuff basically involves it's like them being recruited into Limbo by the demon Belasco in order to like get his soul sword back. Oh, but also Black Cat hasn't told Mary Jane about the fact that she and Peter are kind of sort of dating right now. So her bad luck powers are subtly affecting Mary Jane's new jackpot enabled powers. It's not bad, but at the same time, I don't feel too bad that I wasn't able to get like I was able to read the whole of this miniseries before before recording this. It's like it's fine. It's like, and like I guess writer Jen McKay does have a good grasp on their personalities, but at the same time, it's like it's not really like crucial to the event. It's like I guess if you're like like invested in the characters or the writer, then yeah, I'm going to check this out. But as far as like as Dark Web is concerned, it's not really like that crucial to it. A better example of something that is like not crucial to the event, but still but is actually entertaining are the 2 issues of Gold Goblin that were specifically meant to tie into this series. Gold Goblin is also a 5-issue miniseries written by someone like I genuinely like. That'd be Christopher Cantwell, like who gave us the She Could Fly series of miniseries and the recently talked about around Iron Man. It's like he's working with Lan Medina on art right here, and this is an interesting miniseries because, well, he gets to dig into Norman Osborn, the hero, or he's trying to be a hero. Basically, he acknowledges that he does his take on the character like strikes a good balance between someone who is like absolutely guilt ridden, like over the fact that like his sins have been cleansed, like all the bad stuff he did before he got shot by the Sin Eater in Nick Spencer's run. Well, he like it's like he's not he's not like feeling like he's not the kind of guy who would commit those sins again. But the thing is, he still's got the memories, so he feels all the guilt, and he's just trying, and he just tries to use his like goblin tech in order to be like a hero, but it's not going to be easy for him, especially when the person who, because this is superhero like fiction, like his some sins were given to someone else. Ashley Kafka, the like the psychiatrist who was like treating Ben in it's like in the Beyond storyline. Well, she was infected with them just to see what would happen, and she turned into the new Queen Goblin. And Gold Goblin, specifically the 2 issues that tie into Dark Web, are all about her making her move against Norman. It's like, and it's really interesting to see, like because even though like Norman, he's trying to be a good guy, he's still got that abrasive, driven, arrogant persona that that he's like, I'm going to be a good guy. It's like, and you're not going to stop me. That kind of mentality, right here. But he also realizes that 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 the person he was a bad person. He's trying to be better, but he's not sure if he can actually manage that. I mean, obviously he's going to revert to type at some point. I mean, I don't think that like the story that Cantwell is telling here is going to do that, but I think he's just trying to like navigate who Norman is in this specific instance as someone who has all the memories of what he used to do, but is like horrified by them and wants to be a better person because of them. So I think that for these couple issues that I've read, like up to 3, like he's doing a good job of threading that needle right there. Like, will he finish out in the in the final 2 issues? I certainly hope so. But I can say that I'm actually going to want to read those issues, rather than Mary Jane and Black Cat, which you're probably not going to hear about anything more about them after this podcast. Another series that also got roped into Dark Web is Venom, which I have been reading and I have been enjoying, especially since like the second volume did a great job of setting up where things are going from here. Basically, Eddie Brock has basically become unstuck in time and space, and has found out that he has basically become his like a new version of the King in Black, but not just a King in Black, several Kings in Black, and they're all him at several points in his life. I was waiting to read the latest volume of Venom like before I talked about this stuff, but then when I realized that these issues are part of the crossover, well, I guess I got to read it now. And I don't think that the the issues that make up here are as solid as the previous volume of Venom, even though they do have a good solid hook to them. Basically, well, they have a good solid hook to them, even though they have expose a big plot hole with this with this event, because basically the Goblin Queen has basically recruited Venom as he's become unstuck in time to help to basically try and help her out, but in doing this, she's she wants him to fight against Spider-Man, basically just help wear him down for Chasm. Chasm, however, apparently has special memory draining powers, and he uses them on Venom in the first issue of the storyline, issue 14. And Well, it's like they wind up sucking all the memories of Eddie Brock's son Dylan from his head, and so that's how Venom gets dumber and angrier. It's like in order to fight against Spider-Man, as we see him in the Amazing issue. Thing is, though, it's like you wonder, wait a second. If Chasm can just like suck memories like that, why doesn't he just suck the memories from Spider-Man and trying to get him, instead of trying to get him to eat this like demonic fruit, and all? Well, we're just gonna have to not think about that too hard. So there you go. But the Venom issues do actually manage to advance the story significantly in the sense that Ram V, like who's been playing second fiddle to Al Ewing's issues in this run, actually gets to do something interesting with Dylan. He establishes that that Dylan is now is actually a son of Eddie and Venom, and he's also got his own like special powers, such as to set symbiotes free from their specific from their places in the chain of fate. That's why his new superhero name is called Codex. And the thing is, though, the subsequent issues of this arc are just all about Dylan fighting against his dad, who we saw as Bedlam, the rage-driven version of himself, like later in the storyline, and that he actually becomes earlier in the storyline, like for purposes of this story. And it kind of feels like it's like a bunch of it's like Eddie's kind of like, "Rah, it's like you're hurting me. Why are you hurting me?" It's like and Dylan's like, "Yeah, Dad, why'd you try to kill me right there?" And that in earlier issues, man, it's fine, but I admit that that Ewing and V do a good job of trying to integrate the Dark Web storyline into Venom, but it kind of feels like, okay, yeah, it's like I see what you're trying to do here. It's like you're trying to give the Dylan Eddie confrontation we were the series is building towards, but it's feels kind of like pro forma here. It's like more formulaic than actually part of the storyline they were telling here. So hopefully they'll be able to get things back on track for the next volume. Oh, and we're not done yet though, because we've also got the 2 issues of Dark Web Miss Marvel, which basically involve Kamala Khan, who's now working as an intern at Oscorp alongside Peter Parker. It's but these 2 issues basically see her deal with the resurrected version of of Thomas Edison as a parakeet, who was her initial antagonist way back in the first arc of her series. It's fun. It's goofy fun. Even though I admit that the best part of the 2 issue tie-in was her side of her Jersey Mosque coming becoming alive, then just acknowledging that hey, it's I'm just really pissed at all the people in myself are just so angry at each other that it's I'm just gonna walk around until they settle things. That was cute, and it's overall not a bad tie-in, but it's not really something that's deeply important to the miniseries. What is actually important to the miniseries, and probably the most significant one of all the stuff all the times I've talked about here, is the Dark Web X-Men miniseries. Because while the Amazing issues, the spine of the series, are all about Spider-Man and Chasm, well, Dark Web X-Men is all about the X-Men dealing with Madeline Pryor, and it's basically, and to be honest, it's basically just another 3 issues of Jerry Dugan's X-Men, because he's also writing this series with art from Rod Rice and Phil Noto. Rice's presence is very much appreciated in this series because he's got a very heavy Bill Sienkiewicz influence, and that gives him the ability to dramatize all the demonic action of this of this arc, even though it's unfortunately he only illustrates the first full issue, half of the second, and he's gone from the third. Noto's always a solid artist, and while I think he does solid work here, I really would have liked to have seen Rice tackle the entire thing. But the entire issue, but these three issues are all about the X-Men just dealing with the threat posed by Madeline Pryor, and there's a lot of fun stuff here. It's like like from Jean Grey and Ileana becoming teenage versions of themselves stuck in a house, like to be manipulated by Sinister and Madeline to like uh like Havoc, who's been stuck on Maddie for like the longest time, being like having to wear her iconic Goblin Queen outfit from the original Inferno storyline, to like Cyclops being like hamstrung, or like being imprisoned by the fact that she's hung a bunch of innocent puppies above his head, and if he opens his eyes in order to do anything, then the puppies are gonna die. And it's ridiculous, but it's good fun. Oh, and also like Forge uses his magical serum, scientific serum to grow Krakoan vines over all the demons in order to stop them. I mean, it's fun, but the best part is that in order to resolve the threat against that Madeline faces, that Madeline imposes, well, they decide to actually just talk it out and realize that, hey, what she's asking actually seems kind of reasonable. So yeah, that's a nice twist and something I really appreciated. And it's like, and so like if you're reading X-Men, these three issues are definitely worth reading. I think they're probably easily the most worthwhile storyline for this event. It's like, and it's like, I guess like an ideal collection of this event would just include the Alpha and Omega issues, the Dark Web, Dusk and Dawn, the 4 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, and the 3 X-Men Dark Web X-Men issues as well. Everything else, it's not bad, but it's just kind of feels kind of superfluous to the to the main show. And in the end, it's like wraps up fine. It's like it's like the bad guys are punished. Most of the bad guys are punished. Like some of them escape to go start in their own miniseries. It's like, and we also get recontextualization of Maddie's relationship with Limbo. It's like, and the world at large. Oh, and also Spider-Man and Ben Reilly or Chasm. It's like now are now they're still at odds, but things are different now. So we'll see how that goes. But so and I'm going to keep reading Amazing. I've already read the 2 issues that have followed, which are like a cute little geek gone wrong with it's with Spider-Man and Black Cat, as they encounter a bunch of role playing tech tech bros who have rented a bunch of supervillain tech in order to have a team building exercise over a weekend. It's a fun 2-part issue, written 2 parts, 2 issues written by Joe Kelly with art by Terry Dodson, who I like Terry Dodson, but at the same time, it seems that he's not really meant for monthly work. Is in the sense that you look at these 2 issues and you get the feeling that they say hey Terry, you want to do 2 issues of Spider-Man? Hey, sure, man. It's like I take 2 whole months to do 2 issues of Spider-Man. It's like I can give you my A game here. It's like you got 30 days to do 2 issues. Fuck. So yeah, it's like it's not Dodson's best work, but it's fine. And after that, we're finally going to get the answers as to what Peter did that alienated him from the main superhero community at the beginning of the Amazing series. Oh, and I guess it's also time for a hot take about, hey, it's like, yeah, they revealed that Peter did, but also they killed Miss Marvel in the process. And yeah, on one hand, killing off Marvel's only major Muslim superhero, it's or most visible Muslim superhero at any rate. It's definitely a bad look, especially when you realize that, hey, she's probably going to be brought back before the end of the year because, hey, she's starring in the Marvels, alongside Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau. It's at like in November this year. Oh, and coincidentally, that film was also being co-written by Mr. Wells himself. So, yeah, killing her off as part of an upcoming Spider-Man storyline or current Spider-Man storyline. It's like I'm living in the past here thanks to Marvel Unlimited, but but it just seems like like really it's like cynical and hollow, and just like why are you doing this when we know it's not going to matter? And I guess if you wanted to like hear like the most generous reading of this take, it's a sense that maybe Miss Marvel has really made it as a superhero. I mean this in the sense that not only can she be killed, but she's like going to be brought back like in a few months as well. Because if anyone looks at this and goes, "Oh no, she's dead. Why'd you kill her?" Like, I'm never gonna look at superhero comics again because she's dead. Well, welcome to the genre, people. It's like this stuff happens all the time, and if she's not brought back either in November or before then I will eat one of my shoes. Doesn't matter which one, either of them. But yeah, it's like I've read two. I've been following superhero comics for so long to the sense that hey, yeah, you kill Miss Marvel, it's fine. She'll be back. It's like, in fact, that the biggest problem with that is that it's like, hey, it's like she's that everyone who looks at this like everyone who's like been reading this stuff as long as I have is going to go, yeah, it's not going to matter. She'll be back. I mean, everyone else who was like upset about it because of the optics, yeah, I understand that, but just wait until November. Like it'll be fine. But getting back on subject, well, Dark Web, it's not bad. It's not it's like I wouldn't say it's not a great crossover in the sense that it's basically a Spider-Man story where the X-Men are basically guest starring in their own miniseries off to the side of things. But it's like it's still fun. It's like it's got some good art like from everyone involved. Obviously like cute like cute Hubert even with his minimalistic slant, but also McGinnis and his like maximalist tendencies, and Rod Rice and Noto and their respective styles. It's like and it's like it's not bad, but I think if anyone wanted to just anyone who's just like reading Spider-Man and just wants to like pick up Spider-Man Dark Web that just has like the core issues of this event, yeah, I think that's probably all you need to do. It's like, but X-Men fans are probably gonna want to like at least find some way to check out their specific miniseries. It's like because it's got some relevant stuff as far as like the characters. It's like and Madeline Pryor and Havoc status as things go. So overall, Dark Web not bad, but it's like I could see a version of this where it could have been better. One that basically like fully integrates like like Spider-Man and the X-Men together. It's like instead of just like like trying to tell their stories it's like individually. But yeah, could be worse.
Well, that sounds great. Do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
That's still somewhat up in the air, but I may be talking about Baby Teeth, which is Donny Cates' series with Jerry Brown about a teenage mother who may have given birth to the Antichrist. Oh, did I mention that it may also be autobiographical, in some sense related to Mr. Cates, maybe?
Huh. May have. All
Yeah.
right, then. All right. Well, we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right. Later, everyone.